Andrew Tate, self-described misogynist and internet personality, along with his brother, have been indicted in Romania on charges of human trafficking, rape, forming an organized crime group, and this is according to the prosecutors. So Andrew Tate obviously was arrested some weeks ago, spent some time in jail, has been under house arrest. He's been allowed to tweet. He's been sharing his thoughts again, him and his brother. Now come the charges, which are for sex trafficking, rape, etc. It sounds like the prosecutor's theory is that him and the brother lured women to their home under the pretext of it being like just dating, and then induced them to make sex videos. Prosecutors say under threat of violence and abusive comments, etc. So those are the charges.
Yeah, that he profited from to the exclusion of the women. They were a kind of sex content generating, adult content generating factory for him, and that he allegedly engaged in techniques known to sex traffickers, wherein he held himself out as a sincere romantic interest to the women to induce them to basically create products that he could sell for his benefit.
Sure.
Yeah. And, you know, part of the controversy was that he was a very popular online figure that was, you know, carried a significant degree of influence with young, arguably impressionable boys and young men who were taking some of his teachings about how to interact with women, how to get women to like you, and how one should model themselves as a man very seriously. So long before he was accused of any actual criminal wrongdoing, he was the focus of a lot of public critique because of the kind of masculinity that he was modeling. In fact, I think that we have a clip that demonstrates some of the flavor of the content he would put out.
Let's play that.
I recently posted a question on Twitter asking, would you rather have sex with a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1? And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, 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 because they think they're going to be gay if they do anything else, but they're not actually thinking about the question. When I say a 1 and a 10, I mean Megan Fox with a d, that's the tranny, or Hulk Hogan with a p, that's the girl. This is the question I'm asking. Megan Fox or Hulk Hogan? So you're thinking, well, I don't want to be gay, so I clicked the girl, the number 1, did it? You're gonna f Hulk Hogan? Okay, there's a he's got mustache and muscles and he's all hairy, big dude, 6'5". It's pretty gay to me. That sounds pretty gay. I don't care if it's that is gay.
It's a great theoretical question. One of those, would you rather fight like 1,000 rat-sized horses or one horse-sized rat? You know, those kind of, what would you do?
Yeah, the kind of questions that many of us liked to ask each other when we were at middle school sleepovers. And I think part of the critique of Andrew Tate is that he has a very young...
those theoreticals back in middle school.
Okay, all right. But like, you know, there's something very much like teenage boyish about the way that he presents to the world. But in other respects, very adult behavior. Some background: he has one British and one American parent. Was raised in an estate in Luton, I think it's in the United Kingdom. The son of a catering assistant and a chess master. This is from a write-up in The Guardian. Through his 20s, he worked as a TV producer while training as a kickboxer at the local gym, going on to fight professionally and win world titles. In 2016, his public-facing career appeared to be over when it had barely begun, when after being cast in Big Brother, reality TV show, he was ejected from the house over a video of him hitting a woman with a belt. A second video emerged shortly afterward in which he is shown telling a woman to count the bruises he apparently caused to her. Both Tate and the women denied any abuse occurred and said the clips showed consensual sex. When the Me Too...
the victim said that too.
Yes. The next month, he apparently waded into the Me Too water, saying that women should bear some responsibility for being raped, a view which he has repeated afterward, and which led to him ultimately being barred from Twitter. Yeah. That kind of censorship debate sparked some significant defense of him and elevated his profile as well.
Yeah, look, I want to be careful here because obviously I think he's said a number of things, including the quotes you just gave there, that are vile, and I don't think he's a good role model for anyone, let alone young men. I don't think he's someone that should be celebrated. He seems to have this kind of cult sway, cult following. I think that's unhealthy and improper. I said I don't think It is not and should not be a crime. I mean, maybe it is in Romania, I don't know. To say really deeply misogynistic things is not something I want to imprison people for, or for consensual, seemingly dangerous or violent, but consensual sex between adults.
But that's not what we're...
Well, no, but you're right. You said in that example, for instance, the victim... And I know from the U.S. context, my colleague...
But that has nothing to do with what... That's a 2-year-old article. That has nothing to do with the charges.
No, I know. But I don't know. The women here in these circumstances, do all of them or some of them, or which ones feel that they were abused? Is this the authorities just projecting onto that, their own view of the case onto that? I know in the... Well, just wait a minute. I know from the U.S. context that sex trafficking is a crime assigned to consensual prostitution type arrangements, which as a libertarian I don't think should be illegal. I don't know that that's the case here. I'm just approaching it with a little bit of caution because I have seen our own law enforcement utterly weaponize this category for things that are unsavory or that we don't approve of, but are not is not protecting victims from predators, but just going after people who are engaged in something that is not accepted.
Sure, but there are very specific charges here of keeping women who are making sex tapes for him that he's not paying them for under false pretenses. That's the claim. So I read what I read from the Guardian article as background as to why people haven't liked him for years, but that has nothing to do with the criminal charges that he's facing now. But it doesn't mean that he doesn't have a number of defenders. Cat Turd, famous poster on Twitter, tweeted, whether you're Julian Assange, Donald Trump, or Andrew Tate, if you speak truth to power, the corrupt governments of the world will try to jail, bankrupt, and erase you. It's an interesting
So I'm
grouping.
somewhere between you and Cat Turd in this, I guess. I don't think...
But what have I haven't said any... I haven't made any claims. I'm just talking about what he's actually been accused of. I don't know anything about his guilt or innocence at all.
Sure. And just because he's been accused of something, just because that's law enforcement's view of the case, and again, specifically on these issues, I think law enforcement is often not actually doing what's in the best interest of victims of sex crimes or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that is true, but I also think it's wrong to imply, when we also don't have knowledge of this, that these were just prostitutes that are getting caught up in, anti-sex work police roundup. What is being alleged here has nothing to do with sex work in any traditional sense. These are women. What has been alleged, and this is just what's been alleged. What's been alleged is not that, they're going after sex workers and this is a sting, that there are women who he held himself out as having had a personal romantic relationship with, and because they think they're his girlfriend, they're willing to perform sex acts on tape, which he then markets and uses to get very wealthy and buy all of his Lamborghinis and stuff that he shows off in his videos, and then doesn't pay them and restricts potentially, arguably, allegedly, their ability to leave and recoup the actual benefits of their own labor. That's what he's being charged of. So there's a group of behaviors and activities that people don't like because they just seem repugnant, to the conscience, but aren't illegal. And now there are these legal charges that, we'll see how they pan out. But I don't think that it's at all accurate to compare him to Julian Assange, who's a journalist who reported...
I don't know what truth he has spoken to power.
Right.
I guess the truth is, would you rather Hulk Hogan or...
Right. And maybe there's more of a selective prosecution argument that can loop these three people together, but I do think it's worth distinguishing someone who's being selectively prosecuted because they embarrass the U.S. government by reporting on details of their repugnant actions around the world. Donald Trump, who really did a self-own goal by simply not returning some documents, maybe selective prosecution, but completely avoidable. And Andrew Tate, who has very proudly engaged in behaviors that are certainly, to many people, morally repugnant and potentially now crossing the line into violence against women or sex trafficking, allegedly.
Well, we will see. Tomorrow on Rising, we'll continue to cover any updates on the COVID origins reporting. Very interested and invested in that, so we will absolutely talk about it again. Please stay tuned.
Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any content. For those of you who prefer to listen while you're on the go, we're now available anywhere you listen to podcasts.
See you later.
Bye-bye.